Let's rise. Let's try something new. Let's find new ways to do old things. Let's make the world we want with everything we have. Let's go. Let's keep going even after we've reached the goal. Let each new dawn and each new day bring new opportunities. And let's be ready for it. Every morning, every day, everywhere we go, let's go. Let's rise. Let's try something new. Let's find new ways to do old things. Let's make the world we want with everything we have. Let's go. Let's keep going even after we've reached the goal. Let each new dawn and each new day bring new opportunities. And let's be ready for it. Every morning, every day, everywhere we go, let's go.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Executive Business Breakfast, MTN Executive Business Breakfast. My name is Kojo Akoto-Boateng. It's great to be here for another edition of the Executive Business Breakfast brought to you by MTN and Business World. This is a special edition because if you followed what has happened in the world over the past 1 year, COVID-19 hit the world. The global economy came almost to a halt. But we've seen that the digital space is accelerating the growth of businesses. And in almost every African economy, SMEs are driving growth. In the bigger economies like China, the US, Europe, and other parts of Asia, SMEs are the main drivers of growth for the economies. But how can we accelerate the growth of SMEs using digital services? That's what we are basically here to talk about. I know that you've had a lot of interactions this way. You've heard a lot of fora where we talk about businesses, SMEs, digital growth acceleration. We throw all the jargons around. But this is different. This is special because we've brought 3 people who are experienced, who have succeeded. They've been through the mill, and amongst the 3 of them, they have experience worth over 60 years combined, coming to you today on the platform of MTN to share their insights, their experience, and ideas as to how we can accelerate growth together. So who do we have today? We have Dr. Daniel Macaulay. He's the CEO, chairman of McDan Group. He's one of my resource persons. We have Mariam Kalim Boahin. She is the Group Digital Marketing Head, Lesego, Africa Bank Group, former AFB in Ghana. Lesego. You know, when you go to Southern Africa, you need to use all the elements that God has given you. So Lesego, yes, I'm trying. And you also have Eric Osiako, and he's managing partner of Chanzo Capital, joining us today. And we are talking about accelerating SME growth and development, the role of digitization. If you are joining this conversation online, the hashtag to use is MTN Business, hashtag Partner for Growth. And because I've got people who are very practical today on the platform, I need you to send in your questions early. You have specific questions. You are trying to survive in this space, in these times. How do you use digital platforms, digital skills, digital knowledge, digital assets to scale, not just to survive, but to scale? Send those questions, tweet at us. I'll be happy to read your questions and share them with my resource persons here on the MTN Executive Business Breakfast, the special edition. My name is Kojo Akoto-Boateng. We'll go for a quick break. When we return, I'll introduce my panelists properly, and then we'll get into the conversation. But I need to tell you something. MTN Business has a special package for SMEs. And for you to win any of these packages, you need to sign up for any MTN Business product or service worth 200 Ghana cedis. Now, if you do that, you shoot a video of how you use the product or service. So for example, if you buy a TurboNet from MTN Business, shoot a video of how you use that table net in your business to grow your business, and upload that video online with the hashtags MTN Business and Partner for Growth. We are going to select some lucky SMEs, and they are going to get complete digital solutions that will help them drive their business. I'll tell you more about this also when we come back. But for now, we are going to take a message from MTN. We'll get back and I'll introduce my panelists and we'll get into the conversation. Stay with us.
When we connect, everything is possible. Whatever seems unreachable becomes even closer. Building partnerships, redefining the norms. Because when we connect, being there becomes possible, and new ideas come to life. Stay ahead and stay connected with MTN Business Broadband. Superior internet solutions that drive your dreams. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111.
In it for yourself, MTN Business has a lot of services and products for you. And today, 10 lucky SMEs are going to win special packages from MTN Business. Now, your SME must have 50 or fewer staff members, purchase any MTN Business service at 200 cedis minimum, upload a video of how the business is using the service on social media. I have signed up for the Business Manager platform, and I'm using that to pay my staff, to schedule my meetings, to do my accounting, to send invoices. It's great for me. So sign up to any MTN Business product or service at a minimum of 200 Ghana cedis. Take a video of how you use it. Upload that video online. Tag 10 other small businesses on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Use the hashtag MTN Business, hashtag Partner for Growth, and you get the chance of winning packages including free MTN connectivity, free smartphones from Atlantic Phones, free setup on Haptel e-commerce site, 1-year Business Manager app service by Mpuntu Technologies, free vehicle trackers by eSolutions, banking and capacity building by Fidelity Bank, Momo Merchant setup, 1-year unified communications and IVR services for you, digital advertising service, and an MTN Business surprise goodie bag, among many others. So sign up. It's your time to shine. It's your time to growth, and MTN is partnering you for that growth. If you're also watching this and if you have questions, MTN Business, that's your hashtag on social media. Partner for growth, that's your other hashtag. Use these to tweet at us, post on Facebook, on LinkedIn. The top 3 most active viewers today will take home autographed copies of this book by McDonald, The Path of an Eagle, Despair, Hope, and Glory. You're also going to take other prizes from MTN. So keep watching, keep your questions coming in, keep being interactive, and we'll have a great day today. Now let me introduce my 3 panelists. To my immediate left is a man I admire. Way back in Kumasi when we were doing radio, every radio station wanted this advert because Magdan adverts were nice to be aired on your radio. And if you had an advert from Magdan Group of Companies, you had arrived. And I decided to read about him and learn about him. He's had a journey that inspires many. And as the Africa Continental Free Trade arrives, he's not going to be just a West African mogul. I foresee him being the major player in freight, in business on the continent. He's the founder and CEO of Magdan Group, and he joins us with his insights today. And he celebrated his birthday, Magdan, last 2 weeks. A belated 50th to you.
Thank you.
And it's good to be sharing in the grace of your 50th anniversary.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
You're welcome into the grace.
Thank you very much. So Magdan is our panelist. We also have a lady I've been following silently. For those in our space, so I used to be head of digital for Citi. You cannot miss her on any platform or in any business planning, because there's something she might have done which you jump on to accelerate your own growth, or there's something she said or thought of which you would pick from to strategize. She's a woman of many parts. She's been in telco, in banking, back to financial services and financial inclusion. Her CV is as long as Magdan's age. So I'm going to save you all the stress of going through her CV, even though later I'll share a lot more with you. She's the brand marketing and fintech professional group head she's a brand marketing and fintech professional, and she's the group head digital marketing at Leseho Holdings Limited. Right. For those of you who know Leseho, it was AFB, it's now Leseho. I love their song. Leseho, Lesego, mama. Ladies and gentlemen, Mariam Kalim Ajmambuahing is my other panelist. Welcome, Mariam.
Thank you.
It's good to have you. And I hope all is well.
Yes, all is well. I'm quite excited to be here today. There's so much impact we can have in the SME space, and I believe that the kind of experiences that we have within our corporate sector gives us the opportunity to share as much as possible on platforms like this.
You are running a digital business for Africa, digital strategies, digital head for Africa. How is that, and how has the COVID impacted the business you run and your fortunes?
So the beauty is that the pandemic has actually accelerated our digital growth, and this gives us the opportunity to roll out financial solutions that are affordable, that are accessible to MSCs and to mass and to middle income target audiences.
Great to have you. And the final person joining us is joining via Zoom. He's in Kenya. Eric Kwine is the managing partner at Chanzo Capital. He has 15 years of experience in ICT leadership and has worked in 32 African countries, setting up ISPs, a lot of things. Look, to summarize who Eric is, maybe if he decides to venture into space, then he'll be Africa's Elon Musk. He's his own man, he's his own Eric Kwine, but the moment he decides to go into space or electric vehicles, we could possibly put him on the same level as Elon Musk, because he's a thinker in that space, he's a game changer in that space, and he joins us also from Kenya. Eric, welcome to the Executive Business Breakfast.
Thank you very much, and it's an honor to be on with two distinguished and accomplished individuals, and yourself as the host.
The last time we met, we were on the Business Breakfast platform, and we're talking about how we could fund the growth of Africa. I remember you moderating that particular conversation. Today we are talking about SMEs digitalization. I want to start with you because you're on Zoom, you're on Kenya, so I want to bring you closer home so you get the feel. Give me an overview of the space now, also with respect to COVID-19. How have SMEs fared over the past 1 year, based on the knowledge and the insights?
Right, thanks a lot. Right. Thanks to MTN also for creating this platform for thought leadership and discussion. To set a stage, if you look at the global space today, SMEs constitute about 90% of companies globally. And SMEs contribute about 50% to global GDP. Now let's contrast that with Ghana. In Ghana, according to NBSSI, SMEs are companies that make between $200,000 and not more than $5 million, basically. And they constitute about 85% of companies in Ghana. And they contribute about 70% to our GDP. So if you put the Ghana context side by side, the global context, means that SMEs play a critical role in Ghana. They contribute more to the country's GDP and therefore must be taken very seriously. And so this conversation around how do you accelerate SME growth and development is important using digitization. And to your point, COVID-19 really has forced a lot of SMEs that are predominantly in the informal sector to start adopting digital tools that could help them enhance their business, create efficiency, and eventually build better businesses that are profitable. We've seen this acceleration very strongly over last year and this year. For example, if you take the transaction processing, according to the central bank, about $150 billion of transactions were processed last year, predominantly through mobile money services, compared to about 50 billion, which was checks, which is sort of the banking sector. And so the use of mobile money has now taken a very center stage in transactional processing in the Ghanaian economy, which tells you that more and more people are using electronic means to transact. Now, if you contrast that with the fact that the secular economy has been very slow, in a sense that cash has cost, and the movement of cash has a burden on the economy. So, going digital and using electronic means really accelerates economic growth and adoption. And we've seen this that COVID-19 has actually been a very important impetus. And I'll conclude with a critical example, a personal example. So in my neighborhood, there's a grocery store that we patronize. 3 years ago, I went to this grocery store. I was coming from town, and I was on my way home, and I picked up a few things. And I didn't have cash on me. Actually, interesting, that week I had flown in back from Kenya. In Kenya, I don't use cash. Everything is mobile money here. So I went to this shop, and I pick up a few things, and I wanted to pay with mobile money. And then I realized the shopkeeper said, no, I have to pay with cash. So I had to take my card, go out of the terminal, go to an ATM, take cash, and then come and pay. Fast forward, COVID hits. I go to the same grocery dispenser, and now she takes mobile money. She takes Visa card, she takes Mastercard, and guess what? She's using the services by one of our companies, Haptel, right? So, and you could see that in that experience, when I went to the grocery store, she was able to process more people in a short period of time because now she was using electronic means to accept payment. And then she was telling me that she subsequently subscribed to our online service. So now her inventory will be online, and you can order, and they can look at how they will be able to deliver to you. So that's a very classic and practical example of how technology helped a small grocery delivery business improve during COVID.
Innovative enough to use the right digital services really kept business going and meeting the needs of their customers. Thank you very much, Eric, for that insight from your locality. Now I'll come to you, Magdan. You've been sponsoring, funding, participating, mentoring, and actively engaged in the Magdan Entrepreneurship Challenge. Your vision has been to grow businesses, SMEs, and young business leaders to drive the economy of the country. Over the years, through this experience, what have you noticed are some of the challenges of SMEs that keep coming up through the work you do? And how do you advise they deal with these in the face of all the digital opportunities available?
Well, I have met almost every year. Like this year, for instance, we had 15,000 young entrepreneurs applying to be part of the challenge. And when I look at the space, I was amazed to see how many of them are in the digital space. At the same time, you see those also from the agri sector who are trying to use technology to also apply their produce. I remember in those days where we have to use pager. We moved from pager to Mobitel, right? We moved from pager to Mobitel. Mobitel, arrival of MTN, and here we are today. We have really drawn closer, and I can tell you, looking at the SME space, what is coming is like a revolution. And if you don't step up your game to get into that digital space, you will soon get vanished. And almost every year, if I don't talk to young businesses at all, not less than 500 of them, which I mentor, and they are growing faster than you can think. And their way of thinking is all digitization. And I compare themselves to when I started my business. I say, wow, if this is the rate at which these young men will be moving, then by now I should be competing with Facebook in terms of revenue. Yeah. But I can tell you that what is going on now with the SMEs is amazing. And the space is open and it's making competition keen. I am not a provider of technology, but I'm a user of the technologies, and the transformation, let me use the word brutal, the transformation had been very brutal, and I am sitting at the practical aspect or at the user's end, so I see what is really going on, and looking at the latest trend, adding COVID and all that, we have gone closer and closer to the Western world than you can imagine.
Mm. Now, the other important thing for me is you are a key person when it comes to helping SMEs. Beyond the entrepreneurship challenge, you have a big corporation that plays within this space. I know you have subcontractors, you have suppliers, and all sorts of service providers within your space. How do big businesses like yours help drive the growth of SMEs, especially in the digital space? I'm asking this because I also run a business. Sometimes I use my MTN Business Manager app, send an invoice through to a business. There are some people who still want you to bring a physical invoice, or once you send your digital invoice, they expect you to come and pick a check. There are others who do not see the challenges SMEs are facing now. So they are still doing business with the analog mindset, putting SMEs which are trying to digitalize still in a position where their growth is slow. So how do large corporations reorganize themselves to support SMEs in their space, those who are service partners, service providers, subcontractors, or how do you do that?
It's about insisting. I mean, be very persistent in how you want to deliver your product in terms of, well, you pay. You are the paymaster. And most of them are so, what word will I use? Conservative, and they don't want to change. And there are many factors to that. They want you to come in your own analog way. But if where I'm sitting, I'm controlling a lot of those vendors and suppliers and pushing them that will go digital. Right now, we have different platforms in our company whereby we don't even write checks anymore. We just pay online. Some of them you have to insist and pay through mobile money. Some of them you have to push. We have a lot of corruption too in the system, which this digital space or this technology have helped us to solve. And I feel is the way we, the employers or the entrepreneurs, helping the smaller businesses to grow. We have to push them back, push them to the wall to tell them that, look, this is the space that we want you to be in. And immediately they don't see the benefit, but as you start with them, you realize that they will all be falling in line and be appreciating where we are coming from. Some of us have bent our fingers because of the analog way, and now that there's digitization, I believe that we have to push and insist. Now, let's say the next McDonald Entrepreneurs Challenge, which will soon be on the screens, the finalists, which are 80, which will be on the television very soon, are being trained in the digital space. They all have to start using softwares. They all have to start transacting their financial businesses through different platforms, different digital platforms. So in my own small way, this is what I am doing to push the small and the medium scale businesses to get into that space.
Great. This is the MTN Executive Business Breakfast. Special edition. We are talking about accelerating business growth with digital acceleration, the role of digitization. And my next question is going to Mariam. And my next question is from a viewer. I wanted to give you that question, but the viewer puts it in her own terms. Abigail Akosia says that, how can digitalization contribute in my startup cleaning services. I'm Abigail from Medina, Ghana. I'm asking this question because there are a lot of tools. And for me, I think you are the goddess of digitalization, marketing, everything fintech in this country. What are the tools that SMEs can effectively use to drive their growth in this country?
Thank you for the question, Abigail, and thank you for joining us today. Let me first start by saying that you first need to understand the ecosystem of your business. By virtue of doing that, you know that in setting up your business, you're talking about your customer experience, you're talking about your target, you're talking about your segment, you're talking about your product, you're talking about your HR, you're talking about your financial processes. So by virtue of all the aspects that make up your business, you ask yourself, which aspect of this can I use digitization to help me in driving my business? By virtue of choosing which aspect is key for you now, you are able to run a cost-effective business, you are able to use the tools that work. Tools are quite expensive, but interestingly, we are in a world where tools are actually quite free for a while. Some of these tools actually give you a trial period. So if you picked, for example, your customer experience journey of your customers, and you're looking at your CRM, right? That's your customer relationship management system. You can find a software that you use to understand the journey of your customer. So by virtue of doing that, you are able to walk through your clients, you're able to engage them through marketing, you're able to understand what their needs are, and you're able to create tailor-made services that they would need as customers, so that you don't speak to a blind woman in the dark or shoot to a board blindly. But by using tools, be it for customer experience, by using tools for marketing, for example, by using tools for your e-processing, you realize that you're driving efficiency for your business. And if you look at the business that you run, if you're heavy on social media, for example, you ask yourself, is it the marketing I need to do now? Is it the education I need to do now? Is it the people that I need to educate now? So by virtue of knowing what is key for your business first, you're able to then choose the right tools to make that happen.
Now, I like the fact that you've mentioned CRM, you've mentioned customer experience and linked it to CRM and all that, and then you came into social media. You know, for a very long time, when you mention digital, what people basically associate with is social media. So when somebody says I'm into digital business, it's just Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, some TikTok here and there. But digital goes beyond. So businesses must learn to select the type of tool they need based on their business. So if I run Abigail's business, which is a cleaning business, I need a CRM tool which will let me manage my customers. What other tools are available across the general business scope? Because there is customer management, there is planning, what other tools are available that businesses can effectively use?
Okay, so even if I pick Abigail's financial planning perspective, you have banks that are rolling out digital banking platforms. At Leseho, we just rolled out our Let's Go platform in Botswana and Nigeria, which gives businesses the opportunity to take loans on the go, right? So by virtue of this, they don't need to come to a branch to come and take up a facility with us. And this then saves her on transport. This saves her on time. And this then allows her to be able to take on facility. Her banking experience digital, right? And that is a tool that she'll be using to drive her business, for example. When it comes to the digital ecosystem, like you said, social media just happens to be a subset of digital. Digital comes through content marketing. Digital comes through search engine optimization, pay-per-click, comes through influencer marketing, comes through bloggers. You know, because the thing is that you need to understand that it's 3 blocks of engagement when it comes to your business. You're talking about education, you're talking about engagement, you're talking about conversion. Your ability to live in the digital world, and I use this example, that we live, if I say the analog or traditional world, we have people, we have place. So even if you take the 7 P's of running a business or the 7 P's of marketing, all you do is just juxtapose that in a digital world and say, if I lived in a digital world, how would I replace everything? How would I engage people? How would people find me? How would people know what I do? How would people understand my value proposition? How would my staff even have an employee value proposition to want to be connected? They're excited to be part of this business. And all these elements is what you do within your digital ecosystem. And these elements then help you draw up a bespoke plan that then speaks to your business from a digital perspective. Social media will just happen to be one of the tools you would use to be able to connect and engage with your customers. But you may find out that the beauty of digitization is that it's not time bound, it's not age bound. But by virtue of your ability to learn about it, you can do more with it. Mr. McDowell just spoke about what he does with digitization. There's also the perception that social media is for people between the ages of 18 and 25. But you'd be surprised how an age bracket between even 40 and 70 are using social media to engage with their family members, are using social media to project their businesses, are using social media to even engage with their customers in a way where they are able to solve their problems. So it's speaking to your customer experience, it's speaking to your financial solutions, and it's speaking to your distribution channel. So all these elements then speak to what you're doing as a business in the digital world.
Now, I'm still with you because it's what you do. I'll come back to McDan for the APO. You know, when we go to school and it's time for exam, they say, oh, the last APO. And because McDan has built businesses from ground up, you are talking digital. Eric will also add a lot more. But McDan, when I come back to you, I want you to give me some golden wisdom, either from this book. Well, this book is your autobiography, so there's a lot in here about how businesses should approach their growth and sustain their growth. But I'm just still a bit more on the tools with Mariam. So SMEs, Eric defined them, revenues of 200,000 cedis and above, usually with staff of about 50 or below, small company. Cash flow is usually a problem for a lot of SMEs. In executing their digital strategy, do they need to employ people specifically within to manage that? The digital approach, should it be led from the top, or because digital is really not the main functional business the business does, somebody in a small corner must drive it? How should we approach it from managing it from the top to the bottom and across the industry?
So my CEO would say digital is life. Digital is a way of doing things. You know, so your ability to understand that digitization runs through the whole business is the first key. If a business decides to take on Christianity, for example, and they pray every morning, it's a way of life. You don't necessarily have to be the Christian who prays, but if the business believes in the power of Christianity and they want to pray, that is something they do together, collectively. So digital is one of those things that you need to embrace as a business. You will definitely need a professional who will walk you through. So digital then affects every aspect of the business. If I take even HR, in the past, you would find most organizations having HR classes or taking their staff outside the country to hold HR seminars and the likes. Now, with the power of platforms like Coursera, you are able to then have online education.
Yeah.
What we are doing right here is the power of digital. We are educating, we are driving thought leadership through digitization. And that is what digital does to a business. So be it from the HR, be it from security, be it from finance, be it from marketing, be it from all aspects of the business, one, digitization is in the blood, it's in the nerve of the business. You realize that everything you do almost just moves towards that level. The reason why SMEs should really embrace digitization, that it gives them scale. It's also cost effective. It gives you the ability to go beyond borders without having to physically actually move. You're able to increase your distribution channel. And then you realize that your balance sheet is improving, right? Because you then can even increase your workforce without necessarily having to even meet your colleagues physically. I work remotely in Ghana currently. Our group office is in Botswana. I've been working with my organization for about 4 months, and I haven't even physically seen any of my colleagues.
Oh, really?
Yes, and that's the beauty of digitization. We are working in about 11 markets, and we are producing products, we are producing communication material that are speaking to our customers, and that is the beauty of digitization.
Interesting. So you've captured it beautifully. You can be proactive, productive, and resourceful if you have a correct digital strategy and you execute it well. And it goes beyond the subset that we largely see digital to be. It goes beyond Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, other platforms. HR management, you can have digital tools to do that. Sales management, customer relations management, even
Finance
security,
and security.
finance. And when you get your finance right, then you get your regulatory stuff right, because that's one of the biggest challenges of SMEs, taxes and how to really do the accounting right. So digital is big, and we should see beyond Facebook,
Exactly.
Twitter, Instagram.
Could you let me give you another example here? So in the past, if you were opening a bank account, you would have to physically walk to the bank to give them your ID.
Yeah.
The beauty of digitization is that we are actually doing it through eKYC. So now we are knowing our customers, we are knowing our CEOs just by a call, just by a WhatsApp call. We are meeting them virtually to open their accounts, their business accounts and their individual accounts. And that's the power of digitization. So we are saving time and we are giving value to our customers and their businesses.
Now let me come to Eric. You for 15 years building platforms, one of the brains behind a lot of the policies for digitalization, fintech within this country and on the continent. Now, when we talk digital, we cannot speak about digital without bringing in the state and the government. And I'm asking you this because I know the scope that you deal with on a daily scale. For example, MTN says they are investing about, is it 25 million digitalization investment. But if you talk to businesses, a lot of the SMEs, as much as they try to also go digital, there are lots of bottlenecks within the system, regulatory, this and that, which affects how they grow. With your insight and experience, as businesses and SMEs try to do better in the space, how can the government's digital policy also aid and catalyze more growth for SMEs?
Yes, thanks, Kojo. In my book, The Kings of Africa's Digital Economy, I tried to envision a digital economy emerging in Africa about 10 years ago. And the premise of that was that we saw the growth and exponential adoption of mobile and broadband technology across Africa. And I concluded there were 5 countries that were leading that pack, which is sort of the King's countries: Kenya, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Ghana, and South Africa. And in that book, I came up with 5 key metrics that we looked at to come up with these 5 countries. And one of the metrics in that was the government creating an enabling environment. And that is very, very critical because, first of all, you need government to be able to help create the needed infrastructure that drives digitization. So, for example, if you're going to build digital infrastructure, you need to have an enabling government policy that allows infrastructure providers to be able to provide the infrastructure that is critical, and service providers like MTN to be able to drive the services that ride on the infrastructure. The government also needs to create the policy framework for innovation. Enabling innovation is very, very critical so that young entrepreneurs can envision creating new solutions to existing problems. The last thing is the government needs to create an incentive mechanism for entrepreneurship and innovation to thrive. And in most cases, this is not optimal, but we've seen a very strong optimization within the private sector. So it begs the question, if government was to become a strong enabler, you will see more organization and you see more companies and you see more opportunities in that area. But if you take Ghana, I think that our government has been doing a lot of effort in that direction. If you take the digitization of government services, so today, for example, our company, Hubtel, and 3 others have created a government e-portal where you can now go online and pretty much access most of government services, registering a company, getting government forms, paying, registering for your taxes, etc., through the government e-services portal, which was built by 3 Ghanaian companies, which I think was a great move by the government. If we take our national identification system, it's been built by a local Ghanaian company. If you look at other things that the government is doing currently, there are mobile interoperability platform. And recently, the most interesting development is our central bank, the Bank of Ghana, is now looking at a digital currency for Ghana, which I think that is a very strong thrust into the digital economy. Whether you like it or not, there's a new global financial system that is emerging based on blockchain technology, which at variants like Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. And we need to be active participants in that market. And the way we drive that is that the government has to create the enabling environment. So if you take the King's countries, Ghana is probably one of the countries that is ahead. If you take Kenya, the e-services here are very strong. Nigeria, South Africa, and others are also in that inclination. And in my view is that these countries are serving as a beacon of light for the rest of Africa, especially within the context of the Africa intercontinental free trade market. For that free trade market to really work, you need an Africa-wide adoption of digital services. And as my colleagues have said, digital breaks barriers. Digital solves corruption. Digital creates enablement. Digital creates effectiveness. Digital creates efficiency. So there are so many benefits that if the government put their head to and begin to drive the economies towards digitization, it's going to create a strong enabling environment that will drive a lot of the entrepreneurship that is needed. That will drive and that will create a lot of incentive that entrepreneurs need to unleash the solutions that will push the economies forward.
I'm here on the MTN Executive Business Breakfast. This is a special edition, and we are talking about accelerating SME growth and development, the role of digitization. There are some questions in, but before I read the questions, let me come to you, Magdan. So, digital is just a transformation of what we do in the analog space into another space, another realm aided by technology. So, if you are going to succeed in the digital space, you must get your analog right. Your business strategy must be right, your growth planning must be right, your product must be right, your service must be right. And these days, we see a lot of people coming up wanting to be business owners, entrepreneurs. You've seen, at least you see 15,000 applications each year. So you have seen the most of all the people watching and listening. What are the things that SMEs must do to grow right?
You see, as I always say, garbage in, garbage out. You get what you inspect, you never get what you expect. So as an SME, number one, you have to be consistent and focused. I mean, the world had provided us with a very new space to be able to grow our business devoid of mistakes. In my days, we didn't get it like this. So we have 3 stages of business, where I always refer to as the infant, the organic, and the corporate. Okay, as an SME, you are moving from your infant stage to your organic stage. Organic stage is where most businesses collapse. And the organic stage is where, if you don't get it right, you get destabilized. About 90% of businesses in Ghana collapse at the organic stage. But this beautiful young lady and our other panelists have provided us a platform which we can get it for free in terms of education. MTN is providing these services to indoctrinate young businesses. I mean, it's an advantage for every SME. When you are in the infant stage, you are everything. You are the salesman, the manager, the accountant, the messenger, the cleaner. You make money, but how do you scale up? Digitization is here to help small and medium scale up, and you can scale up faster. I mean, the gap between the corporate world and the organic world is closing up because of this digital space that have been provided us. Now, you don't need to be running around in my days where you have your checkbook in one bag, you have your leg on another run, you run everywhere. At the click of a button, you can solve most of your problems. So to scale up as an SME, you have to be very disciplined, you have to be very consistent, because if you are not consistent, you will never grow. You also have to be very careful how you can, I always say that computers speak the truth. In the digital space, you can punch wrong figures and expect to get the right outputs. So, I mean, there is a space here for SMEs to grow faster. There's a space provided us by all these fintech companies. You have to approach them. You have to look at, in those days we call it bookkeeping. You know what bookkeeping? You draw one straight line and debit and credit. You know, you know, you have. They say that
you have to balance.
You have to balance your book and have what is or carry. They say CBA balance carry forward and balance brought forward in those days. But in these days, they made it easier for us. You don't need to draw those lines and manually put in software. You just put in and it will do everything for you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the space is good. The space is, I mean, I can tell you that digitization has revolutionized how we do business. And you young businesses must catch up.
Yeah.
I mean, we are in Africa, but we have come too fast. We are growing too fast. Right now, the whole system is becoming ye system, right? Whereby you have to do everything at the click of a button. And I think this is what technology had brought to us. And I don't want young businesses to joke with it. The earlier you jump on it, the better is it. Right now, I interviewed some few guys doing agric. And they are introducing drone for planting maize. And it's serious. At the same time, you'll be able to calculate how many seedlings you need, how much cost and all that. So we have been brought closer to wealth or to success than we can ever imagine.
We'll be wrapping up very soon, but talking about drawing one line, debit, credit, balance, carry forward. I don't know if the camera can capture this. So this is my MTN Business Manager app. I don't need to draw any one line here, one line there. It's got my inventory, my finances, my expenses. So whatever I do, I just have to enter. I just enter and off I go. So I don't need to. So that's what we are saying. Technology makes things easy and it gives us a bigger opportunity to thrive. So we need to jump on it and we must be honest in our dealings because technology doesn't lie.
And
garbage in, garbage out. We will be wrapping up shortly, but I have 3 questions, one for each of you. This one goes to Mariam. How can I bring my staff who are stuck in a traditional mindset into the digital world? He's tried everything, it's not working. How does the person transition his traditional staff, his staff with a traditional mindset into the digital space?
What I would recommend is to take your staff out of the box. You know, sometimes when you use real-time situations or you use different scenarios, they can then see the power of digitization. So you could even take your staff on a ride and use Uber, pay with mobile money, and let them see the value they just got in that transport system. And use that as a real example to say, did you see how we saved on not going to the bank? Did you see how we saved by not having to get a driver, get a car? We just called an Uber, it got here. We sat in, we got to our location, we paid, and we are here. So sometimes these practical situations can help their staff really appreciate the power of digitization. And then they juxtapose that story in what they are doing in their daily lives. To say, you come to work, you're an accountant. There's so much software we've invested in as a business. Why won't you just try it and see how much time you will save? And even guess what? As you save time, you actually go home earlier to spend more time with your family. You know, so it's very important that organizations don't drill down digitization, but they take it as a journey and realize that there's an educational phase, there's a practical phase, and then there's an implementation phase.
So it should be an experiential journey. An
experiential, educational, and also do a lot of thought leadership around it. And I think what is also key is the power of partnerships. It's very important that in this digital world, we realize the value of partnerships can give. If I take Leseho Ghana and MTN, for example, we have a partnership that talks about the power of driving loans through digitization. we've given loans to over 4 million customers through MTN with our product called Quick Loan. That is the power of partnerships, and that's the power of digitization. If we were doing it, if Lesotho Ghana was doing it only through branches, I don't think we would get to 4 million customers in 3 years. But today, you have the beauty of partnerships. If you're a business that is into water, and you find a business that is into sandwiches, you can have an affiliate marketing program where the person doing the sandwiches can promote your water, and then you doing the water can promote her sandwiches, and then you both leverage on your sales customer base to then increase your balance sheet.
Awesome stuff. Thank you very much, Marianne. I'll go to Eric. Somebody wants to ask the age-old question: how can I make money from my ideas? He says, I usually have a lot of good ideas, but I don't know how to make it successful financially. Eric, any thoughts on this?
Well, ideas are a dime and a dozen, as they say. And in the school of entrepreneurship, ideas don't win the race, execution does. So a lot of people pride in coming up with ideas, which are great, is the first step. But you need to take the second important step, which is think about how do you execute your idea. And we as investors invest in the entrepreneurs. We have a saying that you back the jockey, not the horse. In the sense that an idea is great, but execution of the idea is more important. And the person that executes the idea is the pivot. And so you invest in the person that executes the idea. So the next step after having an idea is to think about an execution plan. That execution plan may include, in this case of our dear viewer and listener, that he or she needs somebody who has financial skills, a CFO. So you may not have that skill, but there's nothing wrong with that. You may be good at sales, or you may be a good software engineer, so you can build a product. That means that you need to bring somebody who has financial skills to be your co-founder or your partner, or bring somebody who is a technical person to be the CTO if you don't know how to build a product. And then you are good at sales, so you go out and sell. So building a team is the nucleus of building a business. There is no business in the world that has succeeded without a strong team. So the next important thing is to think about how you bring the team. And the way you do that is to look at the things that you are good at doing and bring together a team that complements you and are able to do the things that you as the entrepreneur, the leader, are not able to do. And that helps you advance the idea. Then the next thing is to now create what we call your minimum viable product. The minimum viable product, MVP, as we call the tech world, is the minute version of the solution that you can give to someone to use so that they can pay you for it. And when you create that, it helps you get feedback from the market. Most of the time, you have an idea, you create a product, but you take it to the market, and the market says, no, we want it in a different way. So the minimum viable product helps you refine the idea so that you don't invest so much time in creating the entire product, and then when you take it to the market does not receive it. And that's why we say you should do a minimum viable product. And so the minimum viable product helps you to get what you call product market fit. When the market likes it, you've got a product market fit. And when there's product market fit, it means more people will like it, and therefore you can build up on that product. And by building up on that product, you get more customers. And as you get more customers, your business advances. So as my colleague said, you start in that phase is sort of what your startup phase. And most of the time you have three main team members. You have sort of the engineering team, the product team, the guys who are building the product. Then you have the sales team, which is the guys that go out and sell it. And then the third team that you have is the operational team, which includes the finance guys. But as the business grows, you now need to have corporate governance. When you're becoming an SME, you need to have a board of directors that gives you oversight over the business. You now need to have a senior management team and then a middle management team because you're going to hire more people as the business grows. And these are the elements that we investors look out for when we invest in a business. We want to see that you, the entrepreneur, has visibility into the future. So it's not enough to just create a big future that, hey, I want to build the next Facebook or I want to build the next Amazon. That's great. But you need to be able to show the investor how do you build a path towards that. And these elements show that you know what you're planning to do, and therefore an investor will back you with the capital that you need to get there. But in terms of capital, we don't only provide the financial resources that you need. We also provide what we call capacity and community. because we believe that to succeed in Africa, it's not enough to raise money. And throwing money at businesses doesn't make businesses succeed. You need to build the capacity of the business. There are elements that you need to bring into the business beyond capital that are crucial. I mentioned team. I mentioned, you need to bring in more resources. And if you want to scale across Africa, you need to understand different markets and how those markets work, which is the third thing that we do, which is bring community. So we essentially help our businesses that we invest in launch in new markets beyond the markets in which they are to make them Pan-African businesses and at best global businesses.
But because he's the man who celebrated his birthday 2 weeks ago, I'm going to go for a break and come and throw that question for him, because I think it's a question that a lot of business owners would want the answer. So the question really, it's simple. He says that the person says you started your business with a lot of other businesses in that particular industry. And if you look around Ghana, a lot of them didn't really succeed. They failed. What did you do differently? And I'm sure once you answer that question, other SMEs will know how to approach things differently. But before you answer that, let's go for a quick break. When we come back as well, you answer the question and we'll have our wow moment where 3 people will be taking home autographed copies of this book. The one I'm holding, I'm not giving it to anyone. I'm keeping it. There's also the Carlin gift set. There's a smartwatch to be giving out and a car charger, all from MTN. So quick break. We'll be right back to hear back down.
Good business means seeing the possibilities and maximizing opportunities. Making sure you have a responsive support system that backs your business goals. A partner that gives you a stable platform with reliable connectivity and seamless solutions, and better understands the tools required to take you to the next level. With so many moving parts in running a business, we do our best to provide you with some stability. The only kind of stability you can find with MTN Business Broadband, the fastest and most reliable internet provider in Ghana, making sure you stay ahead and stay connected, because we understand what makes your business tick. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111. Good business means seeing the possibilities and maximizing opportunities. Making sure you have a responsive support system that backs your business goals. A partner that gives you a stable platform with reliable connectivity and seamless solutions, and better understands the tools required to take you to the next level. With so many moving parts in running a business, we do our best to provide you with some stability. The only kind of stability you can find with MTN Business Broadband, the fastest and most reliable internet provider in Ghana, making sure you stay ahead and stay connected, because we understand what makes your business tick. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111.
Let's rise. Let's try something new. Let's find new ways to do old things. Let's make the world we want with everything we have. Let's go. Let's keep going even after we've reached the goal. Let each new dawn and each new day bring new opportunities. And let's be ready for it. Every morning, every day, everywhere we go. Let's go.
Welcome back. This is the Business Executive Breakfast Series, special edition brought to you by MTN. Remember, MTN is 25 years old. MTN has invested billions of dollars in the economy, and they're even investing more so that we can all grow together. And this time, there are special products and services for SMEs to help you drive your growth. So the ad is on the screen. Take the number, take the email, go to the website, sign up for any MTN business service, which costs a minimum 200 Ghana cedis, and stand a chance of winning big from MTN Business. Your SME must have 50 staff or less, and you take a video of how you use the service or the product, upload it online, tag other 10 SMEs, add the hashtag MTN Business Partners for Growth, and you stand a chance of winning tailor-made services and complete digital solutions for your business. We are back, and my question is still hanging. A lot of businesses started with you. A lot of people started with you, Magdan. A lot of them have failed. You have grown and grown and grown, and we cannot mention your industry. You are more synonymous with your industry than any other brand as we know it. What did you do differently?
See, business, I can say that in Ghana, a lot of people put themselves ahead of their businesses. Never put yourself ahead of your business. Let your business be ahead of you. You have to ride behind the business. I ran my business for over a decade, and nobody knew who owned Magdan. You never saw me anywhere. I have gone length and breadth of this world. When they mention Magdan, a lot of people in those days imagine it being a foreign company. Number one, never put yourself ahead of your company. And that is what helped me. I remember, it should be somewhere in my book. In the 90s, I had over $1 million sitting in my account, but I was riding a Fiat Ritmo. You have to also be humble in your business dealing and execution. You have to be consistent, and business has to do with numbers. You have to be able to run the numbers as you go along, and you have to be disciplined. I mean, if you are not a very disciplined person, you can never run a successful business. Discipline is everything. You know, businesses don't need a strong personality. They need strong systems and structures. So as you're disciplined and moving on, you have to look at your system and structure. That is what digitalization is bringing to us now. If you have strong systems, you have strong structures, you will surely survive. But immediately you put yourself ahead of your business, you realize that you break that system. You break that structure. You break that seamless flow of your revenue. I mean, you have to separate your personal expenditures from your company expenditures. It's petty stuff as a small and medium scale businesses you have to be disciplined about. And if you joke with them, you collapse. I mean, it's not a rocket science. And as my friend from Kenya said, nobody wants to back the horse, but we back the jockey. And you look at the Magdan Entrepreneurs Challenge. It's not actually the business that I am so much interested in as an entrepreneur. In every successful business, there's supposed to be somebody behind it. And at times, it's the person behind the business that brings the success. And also in this world, like the second question, we have three types of people. We have people who have all the ideas in the world, but they cannot execute any of their ideas. We have the other trend of people who don't have any idea, but immediately you give them the idea, they execute it for you. The third type of people who are only 2% in the world, they will sit down, conceive the idea, plan their way of executing it, and they will surely execute those ideas. So for me, if you know your weaknesses, you have to find the solution. If I know I have all the ideas, I have to bring along somebody who can execute it for me. My brother said it very brilliantly. So for me, the basic principle is never put yourself ahead of your business. I ran McDonald's close to 15, 20 years before I got noticed. Thank you.
Never put yourself ahead of your business. And in the digital space with nice cameras and filters, the risk is there. You can wake up every morning, take a shot, see if you go on LinkedIn, you see people, doing all sorts of things. So learn that lesson. Very, very good lesson. Marian, I'll come back to you for your final words. Business growth, acceleration, role of digitization. We've said so many things, but what are you leaving us with?
2 things. Make the University of Google your best friend. Digital transformation cycle, understand what it means as a business. There are so many digital keywords that are coming up: blockchain, artificial intelligence, customer experience, Internet of Things, machine learning. Go out there, read, ask yourself, what do these words even mean to my business? How practical can it be for me? And just keep learning. Keep learning and be nimble. Most important thing, be nimble and adapt.
Keep learning, be nimble and adapt. And make the University of Google
your best friend.
Your best friend. And that university, you don't pay school fees.
I tell you,
it's
right?
just data you buy from MTN.
I know.
I'll come to you, Eric. Eric, your final words.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
My final words are that we are at a very critical time in Africa's history where Africa is actually the epicenter of global innovation today. Some of the most successful technology businesses in the world are going to come from Africa in this 21st century, which is a digital century. And Africa as a continent has an opportunity to actually evolve as a digital economy, predominantly because we don't have a legacy secular economy. And this whole digitization is being led by the youth. And as you know, Africa's population, which is 1.3 billion, is 70% under 25 years. So the young population of Africa are really taking their destinies into their own hands to create businesses that would employ people and will create new wealth. So I see a new Africa that is going to dominate the world. And we at Chanzo Capital are excited to be funding and backing these entrepreneurs across the King's countries that we invest in. And we're excited that organizations like MTN are working with some of our portfolio companies like Haptel to strengthen SMEs and to give them the digital tools they need to be part of this 21st century renaissance.
On today's edition of the MTN Business Executive Breakfast Series. This has been the special edition. My name is Kojo Akoto Boating. Now, as I said earlier, we have copies of this book by McDonald. The title of the book is The Path of an Eagle, Despair, Hope, and Glory. Daniel Macaulay McDonald. And this book was recently launched, I think last weekend. And McDonald is giving us 5 copies to 5 active participants of today's forum. So if you hear your name, you've won a copy of this book. Now the other thing is that we have a gift set, we've got smartwatches, we've got car chargers. So if you hear your name, just DM your number to MTN on Twitter or Facebook. If you are watching on Twitter or if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, whichever platform, just send your number to MTN and we'll reach you and give you your prices. So, drum roll. Doing digital, you don't have drums. If we're doing, we would have brought. The following people have won are the most active participants, and they've won copies of the autographed book and the other prizes. Joseph Akwesi Sapon, you're a winner. Congratulations. Abigail Akusia Chanten, you're a winner. Congratulations. Robert Tiabe, you've also won. Mr. T Videos, you've also won. And Kelly Movado, you've also won. Please DM MTN with your phone number. We will come to you. MTN will call you. Make sure you get a copy of this book, plus the various prizes that we are giving out for this special edition of the Executive Business Breakfast. Now that we are done, Magdan is here and we are done. But we are not really done because we have something special to give Magdan. 50 years of change, 50 years of inspiration, 50 years of leading a business from Ghana to take on global footprints is not a joke. So even though you didn't invite me for your birthday, and you didn't invite the rest of us in here for your birthday, we are going to celebrate with you. We have a cake and a special package for you. Yes, this is your cake. Happy birthday, Magdan. Yes, it's nicely written. Happy birthday, Mr. Daniel Macaulay. Yeah. There's your gold. Yes, it's doctor, but he's you know, Magdan doesn't like titles too much, right? So even though he's a doctor, the other man is Obeje. So Magdan, thank you very much. This is from MTN Business to you for your excellent service to Ghana and for the more years ahead that you are going to serve Ghana. We say Ayiko to you, a belated happy birthday. God bless you. Keep being excellent, and we are proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Magdan.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So I'll carry the cake along with you home so that we eat.
Thank you.
This cake will do very well with some juice and some work play.
It's okay.
You know,
It's
so
okay.
I'll carry the cake with you.
Let me carry mine.
Congratulations
Let me
to you,
carry mine
Magdan. And on behalf of MTN, I say a very big thank you to all of you for coming. To you, Marianne, it's been fantastic having you.
Thank you.
Maybe we should have a full session with Magdan, a full session with Marianne, a full session with Eric, because they are all colossal human beings with a lot to share. Yeah. And 1 hour with the three of them is not enough for me. So we'll arrange that. So thank you, Marianne. Thank you, Magdan. Thank you, Eric from Kenya. God bless you as well for watching. This is the end of the special edition of the Business Breakfast. There is more coming your way from MTN. Remember, sign up for any service from MTN Business if you run an SME. 200 Ghana cedis minimum. Take a video of what you do with the service or the product, upload it online. The hashtag is MTN Business. The other hashtag is Partners for Growth. And tag other 10 SMEs. When you win, you're going to get custom-made services, full digital solutions, and a whole lot more, including e-commerce services, MTN Momo activations for you, digital connectivity, car tracking services, and a whole lot more from MTN. So sign up, share, so that you also win in this big promotion by MTN Business. And if you're like me, you should be going on the App Store to get the MTN Business Manager app to manage your business. God bless you for watching. Keep being with MTN. Have a great day. Thank you.
When we connect, everything is possible. Whatever seems unreachable becomes even closer. Building partnerships. Redefining the norms. Because when we connect, being there becomes possible. And new ideas come to life. Stay ahead and stay connected with MTN Business Broadband. Superior internet solutions that drive your dreams. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111. When we connect, everything is possible. Whatever seems unreachable becomes even closer. Building partnerships. Redefining the norms. Because when we connect, being there becomes possible. And new ideas come to life. Stay ahead and stay connected with MTN Business Broadband. Superior internet solutions that drive your dreams. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111. When we connect, everything is possible. Whatever seems unreachable becomes even closer. Building partnerships, redefining the norms. Because when we connect, being there becomes possible, and new ideas come to life. Stay ahead and stay connected with MTN Business Broadband. Superior internet solutions that drive your dreams. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111. When we connect, everything is possible. Whatever seems unreachable